Greetings, galactic warriors of the cosmic light. Where do we begin? Before time and space. Here now, another interesting 24 hours of Ascension energies flowing through. We had many waves of energy coming in through the night. Many of us experienced very vivid dreams. Yesterday I spoke of the 37th gene key, and this morning when I checked the Schumann resonance chart, the ECC was 37, and the 17 also was coming through. So there were two values on the Schumann resonance chart, 17 and 37, which were synchronic with some of the symbolism I was speaking of yesterday. It's now at the 8 frequency, and we saw some rainbow patterns coming through in the charts. Also, there was a massive volcano in Japan. Yesterday, one in Mexico. Many earthquakes in the last 24 hours all over the realm, especially around the Ring of Fire, fully activated. 148 earthquakes in the past 24 hours, M1.5 or greater. We had more activity in Puerto Rico with the Atlantean energies, 3.2, 3.1. Fiji Island, 4.6. India, 5.0. Colombia, 4.5, Texas, 3.5, Cobb, California, 3.5, another 3.7, the 37 energy, and a 4.9 in Chile. Also reports of earthquakes along the New Madrid throughout the U.S. So everything's waking up, shaking up, many things coming through the collective. At the end of this transmission, I'm going to address about what I spoke of yesterday about the end of the game and not giving away the ending. That had nothing to do with the shift and the ascension. I'll clarify that at the end. What I meant by the end of the game, obviously, these energies coming in by the game of life. So we're just upping the level. 5D would be raising the frequency. It's not the total end of the simulation, the game. It's raising up to what is being called heaven on earth, which is like an up-leveling. It's not the end, so I'll explain that more at the end, because in the beginning here I want to talk about a vision I had this morning, or in the middle of the night, before awakening as I traveled to the higher realms. There was a synchronicity upon awakening that was very powerful. I was in a room, like a hall of records, and with a golden floor. And there was like a game in front of me with like one of those super balls, rubber bouncy balls with those little tacks, the game many of us as children would play with the little things that spun and you bounce it and pick them up or something. And I was playing this game with the angelic realm, and we were laughing about this concept of game over for the nefarious ones, saying it was about time, or the time is right. But what really stood out was this pure, polished golden floor I was on. And upon awakening, as I was checking the Schumann and messages and stuff, one came through my feed. Can't remember I think it was on YouTube. This young girl, maybe 7, 8 years old, I think in Australia, that was posted about a dream or vision she had of the rapture. And right off, she talked about being in this other realm with a pure golden floor. The floor was gold, and she was with Jesus. He's telling her the rapture is coming. And something that also was unique and powerful was that the being, that Jesus character had told her that in 2020 was the rapture, and that on her birthday, her brother would be able to talk. And her brother, who's autistic, cannot speak. He's about 10 years old. And this was a precious angel. I will try to post that video in the article that'll be in the description below so you can see it. And she said on her birthday, her brother, who was autistic, would be able to talk. And her birthday was March 14th, 3/14. So this is synchronistic with what I've been teaching or talking to the caretakers of the autistic children, autistic beings, adults, children, that they're already residing in the 5D energies. Their body is still in is down in the 3D, so it appears like they're off or out of sync with this realm. But once we're lifted, once we raise up in ascension energies, they will be the teachers and the guides. They've already been doing it, navigating through the 5D energies. So for now, it might seem like they're in another realm, or not, or what people might call low functioning in this realm. They're actually high functioning in the higher dimensions, which this has been coming through from my guides for many years. You know, the people, humans with Asperger's and that would be more like at the 4D realm, what people call higher functioning autism. But in the more profound autistic, that would be at the even a higher dimension of time and space. So we'll see this come to fruition with the ascension energies rising up the collective. Now we're going through our individual ascension, our individual awakenings that is affecting the collective. We're at the tipping point, which some might call the 100th monkey. When that 100th monkey is activated and lifted up, it will affect the whole collective. We don't know what that moment is. It could be a day, a week, 10 years. So these dates, I know a lot of people don't like dates because that raises in their consciousness some kind of expectation. But that's why the teachers, the gurus will say it is best to release all expectations and practice appreciation and gratitude for where we are right now, for what we have, the people in our lives, the gifts that we have, the spiritual gifts, the activations, anything to invoke a positive mindset, positive vision, a vision of hope, of purity, of joy, of bliss. We start our first transmission today from Andrea Cutlin from A Gift from Gaia. The moon's crescent has been seen and it has begun. This was posted from Love Has Won. Yesterday's blog has begun to unfold the data and the magic that has just increased around us. Vision has become incredibly focused on the now and what's to come. The memories of what was should now be holding very little to no value. This gives us the symbols to confirm the portal of the 222 sacred union has been completed. Also, many will have noticed the switch to supporting self and the physical was super easy, and as I mentioned yesterday, the quantum leap available was super expansive, so much so that many new to quantum leaping may well be finding themselves searching up walk-in experiences, because each who chose to shift will literally be waking up to new, embedded, healthful ways of operating, super easy and somewhat surprising to move into. In the beginning, the magic of how fast things move when aligned to light has us seeking explanations to how this can be, how we can wake up literally as a new person. Everything looks and feels so different. May I suggest you leave the walk and talk alone, as it creates more idea of separation and brings confusion. The truth is you have experienced the quantum leap. So imagine the spectrum and the octaves within. Instead of progressing naturally at the speed you are used to, what happens is a few octaves are moved through at once, which gives you the alien feeling, comfortably alien but most definitely different for a few days and sometimes weeks. Allow the stabilization and enjoy your newfound connection and up the physical body vibration. You will notice it requests different foods, vitamins, minerals, water intake, nature. A whole number of upgrades happen at once. All you need to do is continue to support it without question, which is a new lesson in the divine feminine guidance request and divine masculine pay attention and action. What we have today is rather interesting. We have the Mars conjunct South Node, and if that karmic dragon isn't cut in half quite properly, then I know Mars will be coming in to finish the job. But also we have his counterpart, Venus, who is now in opposition to Juno. This is more quantum leap energy. Angels, we are in for such a treat. Venus and Juno in opposition assists those uncomfortable attachments become more uncomfortable for the cut relationships that should have ended. However that may manifest, work, money, health, self, it all relates to self in the end. Now simply hold, no pull. The case of letting go today will simply, unbelievably be simple. And this is a super soul calling during a time in which the sacred union template is now reverberating its new higher frequency codes. And what we find is the surf magically takes us on a super supported ride, moving us so rapidly out of all those emotional change. Addictions, past pains, programming, take your pick, it will be simple to remove. Collectively, we all shift, we all raise in frequency, and we all take a step closer to unity, as each of us allows more of the old to move away and welcome, open up to the new entering. So I thank you as I thank me. This feels like a celebration, and this certainly feels like a time to pay more attention and to act upon the requests of the feelings from within. Every irk, every annoyance, every trigger is asked to be supported. It's asking for your connection, to begin dialogue so that it can unfold your truth, for you to learn how to hold a sacred field and continue the purpose of why you are here in this momentous time and space. None of this is about them. Never lose sight of the mechanics that are working underneath it all. Never forget this is only about energy, about patterns and codes, about cosmic laws. Nothing should be personified and nothing is personal, and the teachings of how to operate from this clean and crisp space is available to you now. You need only ask and you shall receive. Never forget that everything is a spectrum, so to experience the most abundant, we must experience the most incredible lack. To understand love, we must experience fear. This is the sine wave of life, a sine wave dating from the day time sign began. But as well as this, each traverses this sign within a lifetime if we choose to harmonize and leave the very slow karmic way of traveling. The karmic sign isn't really a wave. It doesn't make the wave, it just makes the dip. And so it starts with innocence, child, at the top and traverses to the bottom. Too heavy to take the trip back up, never learning to realize release and realign. So by the time the bottom of the sign is reached, it fades through being too dense to rise once again. The path of the initiate dives deep so very fast, but learns while on the way down how we are going to come back up. The initiate asks why and how and never stops until the alignment is found, much like putting in safety hooks when climbing, or perhaps the Hansel and Gretel story leaving the white stones, or maybe, while I share this transmission as I do, Andrea leaves gems and keys for others to find their way. I've also felt into the idea that I am now leaving them here for our return, which excites me so much more. The pendulum now swings. Quantum leaps are available for all. Each is completely supported to choose the light way, and by doing so, by choosing to now align to what is trying so very hard to move in, will replace this old so rapidly. Each will be waking up very soon, wondering what all the fuss was about and noticing how very different life now feels. This has all been about how we can support self more, and then once this has been discovered, we all move into a more supporting space. As we realize the value in support itself, we then hold bundles of respect and responsibility, and it is then that I become the unified I. The me becomes the we, and all separation dissolves between one and all. Come into your sacred union, angels. It most often appears like the path of separating, but I promise it is simply the path of seeing your separation through the attachment to out there. Once this is past, once it has been experienced and learned from, it never repeats. But in order for this to happen, we must learn from the operation manual of how this works. It is the only way to connect, and for all the most obvious reasons. Reconnect your life force, angels. I have found the coordinates for the rise of the sign from a gift from Gaia.com, from Mary Long. The light of the cosmos is awakening us to see beyond this illusion of tyranny and separation, to open our hearts and feel how connected we are to each other, no matter our forms. Open your hearts, your minds, and allow these celestial energies to flow through you and awaken in you the power you have always had as creators. All are of the divine. It is up to each of us to find that light of truth that has always been within, to free ourselves from the darkness of suffering and live the lives we were always meant to live as one divine family. And from Elizabeth Peru, we are in Mercury retrograde. Remember? And it's such an empowering period of 2020. What's happening in your life since February 16, 17? What's been uncovered, and because of this, how much more deeply have you been able to release so you can move forward, healed and whole? When you're presented with an accessible, relatable, and beautiful way of looking at and working with the cosmic cycles and energy shifts, life flows more easily, as you stop limiting yourself. From ElizabethPeru.com and from the Zolkin Times, Kin 229, Red Galactic Moon. The number 8 is called Galactic, and its key words are harmonize, model, and integrity. It's the 8th step of the White Wind Wave spell, and what we now shift well past the halfway mark and begin to see tangible progress if we have been journeying through it consciously. Today is Red Moon, which is all about going with the flow. This is a great combination of number and day. When you combine the meanings, the result is to purify, to harmonize, or flow integrity. To summarize a very relaxed day, simply surrender and you'll find harmony. Today's guide is Red Skywalker, which represents adventure and courage. This suggests we all do something bold and out of our comfort zone, a contrast to the relaxed moon energy. Well, what can that mean? Well, if letting go is outside your comfort zone, that could be considered brave. Or if going with the flow takes you on an adventure, that could lead to something very interesting. And from Christina Papagiorgio, Red Galactic Moon, Kin 229, 26 February 2020, Harmony through Integrity. 26/2/2020 equal 8/2/4 equal 14 equal 5. 26 Compassion Empowerment. 8 Infinity Abundance Flow. 5 Change Freedom Transformation. Kin 229 equal 13 equal 4. Form, structure, earth, angelic. Today is day 8 in the wave spell of Icke, the white wind, who holds the power of spirit and communication. When we are becoming hollow vessels for spirit to communicate and operate through our being, today we are purifying our vessel to allow for a greater flow of integrity as we channel spirit. Tone of creation, galactic tone 8 in the mental realm. Action, modeling, power, harmonize, essence, integrity. The galactic tone will influence much mental analysis today. The most important factor is that we model integrity in our thoughts, words, and actions. We are modeling flow, allowing for spirit to guide us to a more harmonious life. Through the powers of universal water, we are returned to a state of wholeness and harmony. We need to reflect on the message from spirit and ensure that we are aligned in order for us to evolve and become enlightened. Galactic also focuses on integrity, and as it operates on the mental level, you will be mindful of scrutinizing your thoughts and actions, examining whether they are in total alignment with divine will, and coming from a place in your heart focused on loving kindness to yourself and all other beings. Our plans need to be transparent and for the highest good of our community and planet, for them to hold up in these new energies. Our projects and business models will then serve as a model for others following in our footsteps, who hold the ideals of unity, peace, and harmony as a priority. At Tone 8, we have entered a new scale, and we are so proud. We just have to model ourselves for others. We have also mastered harmony at this stage. We are galactic, and don't we know it? Today's themes: purification, flow, and intuition. May Goddess fill your golden chalice with her divine blessings and infinite love. Today's question is, how can I purify my mind in order to align with God mind, modeling greater integrity and harmony? Divine blessings for filling your golden chalice with the gifts of God, Goddess. In Icke a la Kin, Christina White Magnetic World Bridger, Kin 66. Kin 229, Red Galactic Moon. The mantra, the code for today is, I harmonize in order to purify, modeling flow. I seal the process of universal water with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of space. There we go. I am space, and space am I. So as we connect with our inner conscious mind, we'll speak here a moment about the end game, or the end of the game. To clarify what I was talking about yesterday, I was not talking about the Ascension or 5D. You know, this is the game that I'm talking about, is the creation that we created to experience all that is unfolding in the now. What we call Ascension, rising up, the levity, and 5D, it's still a game, it's still a simulation, but it's of a higher resonance. It may be more bliss, more joy, more harmony, or even total harmony. We're all seeing this from our own perspective. But as far as the game itself, what we call the game of life, let's imagine a moment, the I Am Presence, or what we call the Great Mystery, beyond time and space, before time and space existed. If you imagine for a moment you're this infinite, eternal bliss oneness, eternal being of light, sitting in this primordial soup in eternity, what would you do? What would you think? Would you play a game with yourself to enter into yourself, create something and let go into that thing, maybe go on a great adventure? Say it's like an artist with this empty canvas in front of you. Would you sit and still into that blank canvas forever? Or would you paint something of great beauty and experiment, try different colors, try different forms, different styles? This is symbolic of the original creation. This eternal life, eternal light, had this turning, this idea sprung forth out of the void, which became the sound, the frequency, which became the light, the particle, the wave into the particle, which became the duality, the yin, the yang, the black, the white, the emptiness, the form, into the Trinity, past, the present, the future, body, mind, spirit, mother, father, child, positive, negative, and the neutral in the middle, and from the three came the 5 elements, and springing forth out of the 5 elements, the 10,000 things, which is everything we experience in this realm. So can we keep this game going forever? The turning of the wheel? Yes, anything is possible. But this ascension that we're transitioning into is being seen from many perspectives, many angles. Some call it the event, some call it the Great Awakening. Obviously, this is a process. The old saying, Rome was not built in a day, comes to light. We can think of ourselves as builders of the new earth. And what is this? This is a land, a pure land of consciousness that we can manifest anything from our heart. So we're all learning to be true humans of the light, true co-creators with Source, the Source energy, the infinite light, the infinite life that created the simulation we call Earth. And now we've learned enough, we've reached a point to where we decided consciously that as a collective, we have suffered enough. So what do we do with this knowledge? We co-create together what we are calling the new Earth. And what many see as the event, yes, we have assistance, we're getting assistance from the higher dimensions, our guides, our teams, which emanate out from Source. But what we call the game of life is an emanation of Source. And Source put its awareness into its creation to experience infinite things, infinite realities, infinite timelines, all for the joy of waking up. And as we travel deeper and deeper into the dream, into the forgetfulness, the amnesia, it balanced out the light. The deeper you go, the higher you flow, the deeper into the suffering, into the conflict, into the sensitivity of the physical form, the greater the bliss of returning to the eternal stillness, the eternal light. So we can ask ourselves, with our consciousness now in this form, knowing we are one with Source, one with Creator, one with the universe, what do we do with that knowledge? What do we do with that energy? And that's a question you must answer for yourself. There's many hints and signposts along the way. Many of us see this as uniting in energy and consciousness. Many see this as the rainbow tribes rising up, coming into realization, coming into view, the visions, the dreams of peace on earth, and merging heaven and earth, the physical with the non-physical, to reconnect and remerge those parts of ourselves, of the story that seem to have been lost in time, or lost in space. But you can never truly be lost, because intrinsically, all that seemed real, seemed permanent, was a simulation of reality, or an emanation of that which is real and that which never changes. So now it is up to us as a collective consciousness, to be very clear on our intent and our visions, very clear to ourselves and to the universe, exactly what we want and see for the new Eden, the new earth, the pure land, fully awake, fully aware, here now, empowered with the true light, the true love of our connection to all things through the heart center. So this concept of seeing is believing, we are shifting to balance to believing is seeing, meaning you believe in something that you see, or you see something that you believe. Everything is a double-edged sword. We can look at it from both angles. Sometimes you need the belief to experience it, and sometimes experiencing it or witnessing it raises up the belief in some kind of philosophy. These words are all philosophies, synchronicity, symbolism, pointing to the truth, knowing that what we call truth is beyond all words, beyond all concepts. But we navigate, we use these concepts and words as fingers pointing to the moon. Instead of staring at the finger, follow where the finger points. Through the sacred vessel, the kingdom of heaven within is the peace, the stillness at the center of your being, and through that the doorway into the void, into the eternal emptiness, and beyond that into the great mystery, the unknowable mind of the great spirit, the great mystery. And the power we generate and activate to manifest what we want to see and feel and experience comes from the power within, the stillness within. The power is in the stillness and the silence. It holds and contains everything. And from that pure still center, we can transmit our highest light, our highest love, our highest codes to all life and all humanity, and be part of the process of this conscious awakening, this conscious manifesting, this conscious co-creating together, knowing we are all one. We all come from source. Yes, we have our individual experiences, our individual consciousness. We may say the one exists because of the many, and the many exists because of the one. One implies many, and many implies one. Same with emptiness and form. There is emptiness because of form existing, and form exists because of emptiness. They imply each other, and they rely on each other for their existence. This is the one law, the natural law, the balancing of the scales of divinity. So seek ye the kingdom of heaven within, and through that stillness, connect or reconnect with your highest light, your true, pure awareness of eternal bliss consciousness. Thank you for joining us today, beloved beings of light. Let us know in the comments below what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, any activations, any experiences connected with this ascension process. These are being seen by many. It's multidimensional. The higher dimensionals are watching what we are doing, and it also assists other lightworkers and starseeds that are going through similar transformations. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Click the subscribe button below and the little bell next to subscribe. And again, we archive each transmission in the link below in the description on our website primedisclosure.com, so you can follow that link. And we usually put more information and links within the article, the daily transmission, so you can do more research on your own and dive deeper into some of the concepts we speak about in these transmissions. So have a beautiful and blessed day, beloved beings of light. I love you all. Namaste.